My shift starts at 3 a.m. in the morning, and generally, with a 12 hours working period, it can be, finish at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Depends on the workload. And you've just got to, work everything in so that you know that you've got the required amount of break and tired, and knowing when you're tired and not, fit for duty. That's the biggest thing. I'll call out to anyone, that goes on to shift work or even during the day as well. It's important to be on your game because it's not just your life at risk, it's everyone else's life on the road.
Like I'm getting up at around 3:30 to come to Sydney, and there's a lot of people on the road, and their body clocks are telling them they're supposed to be asleep, and here they are travelling down a straight stretch of road with all these new LED headlights in their eyes, and they can't see where they're going, let alone think about what they've got to do.
Well, the good thing about how our work is set up is we get most of our work done overnight, which is really good. So from the midnight to the 6 a.m. kind of period is when we do a lot of work, and it's definitely the most enjoyable period of my work when no one else is on the road. And then obviously the morning traffic between, like the 6 to 9 a.m. gets a little bit frustrating, as you can imagine.
Well, my start time is 2 in the morning. And as you know, legally, we can't work any more than 12 hours. So around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes earlier, all depends how busy we are, how many loads are coming out. And just one good thing is physical exercise is always here, like unloading and reloading of pallets. So I try to use the manual jack just to, keep yourself energized and all that, and have frequent breaks, relax a bit, talk to other drivers, and sort of brings the energy back, I guess.
Shift workers are at increased risk of drowsiness as they sleep when the brain is wired for alertness in the daytime, and they attempt to stay awake when the brain is wired for sleep at night. Studies have shown that workers doing long evening shifts can have a road crash risk 6 times higher than a 9-to-5 day worker, and somebody who's been awake for 17 hours has the same level of impairment as somebody with a blood alcohol level of 0.05. People doing night shifts often express problems such as poor sleep quality, short sleep periods, and insomnia symptoms. One of the most frequent complaints being an inability to get adequate amounts of sleep the day following a night shift, and this prevents a full recovery. When sleep restrictions accumulate for consecutive days, the deficit may cause acute or chronic fatigue and sleepiness. One study found that restricting sleep to 6 hours a day for 14 days meant performance deteriorated as much as for 24 consecutive hours without sleep. Studies also identify a higher risk for workers following overnight work, and that prolonged driving was found as especially hazardous during the homeward commute, notably suggesting that a drive of more than 45 minutes was likely to increase the risk of drowsiness-related impairment. It's also vital to recognise the general challenges that shift work can present to overall well-being. When compared to day workers, shift workers have a higher risk of developing several chronic medical conditions, and they often eat more unhealthy foods at irregular times. In addition to sleep deficiency, this presents a higher risk for obesity, metabolic alterations, and chronic disease. So, how do shift workers prepare for their shift? And if they are tired before or afterwards, what do they do to re-energise themselves?
I'd started at 5:30 in the morning, and then that was easy for a normal work day. Then moving into the shift time, it was a bit difficult to start with. But managing when you need to go to sleep and the required rest time, your diet is the biggest thing I find. And, not having a massive meal before you go to sleep, it all contributes to, making the day go easier.
The most important thing is, especially as far as our driving duties are concerned, a good night of sleep, nothing can go past that. So yeah, you have to make sure you are rested well before you're even thinking about coming to work, I guess. It's it can be physical job at times. So I do my personal exercises at home whenever I get spare time. So I do my training.
We work like midnight to midday and things like that. So some people go home and have a nap for 2 or 3 hours, and then they go back to bed again around 9 or 10 p.m. for another hour or two, which is instead of having 5 or 6 hours like that, or sleeping 4 hours and 4 hours, you'd be better off just one uninterrupted sleep of 6 hours would be better than 8 hours of a broken sleep. You know what I mean?
So obviously, if you have a long shift, it doesn't matter which industry you work, you will be fatigued for the next day. So for me, I try to have a proper rest, maybe like have a proper sleep at the night, and secondly, eat the right food.
When I get in the door, I shower, and some nights it's best to even go to bed. You sleep better, you don't really want to eat, you might have had a late lunch and you just go, just have a cold drink, go to bed and wake up early, feel great. It's better because, you might have things to do for yourself, like pay bills or check your crypto or whatever. Once you wake up, feeling great, do all that, and you're more alert, and then I'll cook some food, go off to work or something. I don't really eat breakfast too early because I do a little bit of that intermittent fasting, which helps keep my blood sugar down too. What I'll do, because we have 2 half-an-hour breaks, I'll pick a nice spot, put the seat back, pull the curtain around, because these Volvos have got a bit of a curtain, and I'll have a little snooze.
And here's a few other ideas to manage the effects of shift work. Create a plan to help manage your internal clock, including when you're working, plan naps and sleep, a healthy meal plan, and the quiet times you need in preparation for your sleep. Look at strategic napping, meaning naps planned prior to starting a shift, and recuperative naps at night if possible, for the relief of sleepiness. Also, be mindful of sleepiness after a night shift as you prepare to drive home. A 15 to 20 minute nap before your journey may be beneficial, providing that you're fully awake when you get behind the wheel. Control exposure to bright light after a shift to help your body and mind adjust for a longer sleep. And reduce screen time, ideally swapping it out for physical activity. With the body clock out of sync and sleep patterns disrupted, there's a much higher crash risk. Manage your sleep and your energy levels through rest, preparation, a healthy routine, and diet.